It's the habit of doing it. We all know this. We all know we need clarity in our lives. Well, it starts by asking these questions routinely and trusting that if you keep asking the questions, the answers are going to start to emerge. Hi, everybody. It's me, Mark Matthews, psychologist and your certified high performance coach. Today, we're going to talk about clarity. Remember, this is part of the High Performance Habits mini-series, where I'm going to walk through all 6 of the high performance habits that are laid out in Brendon Burchard's High Performance Habits framework that allow you to live a higher quality of life, succeed at whatever you're trying to do, whether it's school or work or in your relationships, but also to do that in a way that's going to promote a higher quality of life, positive well-being. You're not going to have to sacrifice the quality of your life just to do well, whatever you're trying to do in life. And also, it's going to teach you how to do it in a way that maintains positive relationships. Yes, you can have success and vibrant romantic relationships, friendships, any type of relationship that matters to you right now. In fact, if you do this right, you can have a fully integrated life where your relationships feed into your success, right? They don't take away from the time you put into your commitments. They actually feed into it so that you can do better, feel better, and have a better life. So let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about clarity. Now, when I say clarity, what do you think of? A lot of times people think of a state. They think of knowing exactly what they need to do, having a clear idea of what their goal is or where they need to be going. That's absolutely right. Clarity is a state. It's an amazing state of mind. It feels tremendous. We know it feels tremendous because one of the most important questions in people's lives is, what should I do? Clarity means you have an answer to that question. There's another way to think about clarity, though, and that's as an intentional habit. You see, what happens when you decide that I'm going to continually seek clarity with an intentional process that has been proven to increase the feelings of clarity over time? What happens when you decide to take control of that? To no longer let your clarity be subject to random chance, but to say, I'm going to cultivate clarity about how I want to be showing up in my career and where I want to go. I'm going to cultivate clarity about the types of relationships that I have and how we're going to get there and experience it. I'm going to take control of my destiny. If you have any feeling like that would serve you, that sounds great, or even you're skeptical, I don't know if that's possible, let me introduce you to a framework that will allow you to do so. In the High Performance Habits framework, we cultivate these skills by asking ourselves meaningful questions. We also have tools, and I'll teach you one of those tools for clarity today. But on the path of seeking clarity, I pull out my high performance planner here, and every single week, I ask myself a series of questions. First question I ask myself is, was I intentional in how I acted today? You know, this question just gets at, did I show up to the day in a way that I really wanted to? Did I know what I was trying to accomplish today? Did I know what I was trying to experience today? Did I know how I wanted to affect others today? Or did I just roll out of bed and start reacting? Did I jump right to my phone and just respond to whatever popped up on my screen? Did I go to work and just handle whatever came at me? See, this question is asking you, do you at least have a plan? A lot of people, they have a vague idea of what a plan would be, or they kind of have a general way of life that they'd like to bring about, but they haven't got clear about, I'm going to show up in this specific way tomorrow. No matter what happens, no matter how many emails I get or texts I get or what problems pop up, I'm going to be mindful tomorrow. I'm going to meaningfully engage with my day tomorrow. You can set that intention. So you ask yourself, are you doing that? The second question you ask yourself is, did I know the feelings that I wanted to generate today? So for me, when I film videos, I like to think about, how do I want to feel when I film these videos? I want to feel connected to you. I want to feel alive. I want to feel like I'm tapping into these frameworks and the things that I'm sharing that I love so much. I really believe that when I film a video and I'm connected, it comes off a lot more authentic, because it is. And also, I have a lot more fun doing it. I walk out of the studio and I just feel amazing. I want to keep connecting with life. And so I just notice, what do I want to generate today? And when you notice what you want to generate, you start to think about, okay, well, how do I do that? You start to architect your day in a way that will bring about the feelings that you'd like to have. You can't always control how you're going to feel. That's not on the table. But you can definitely influence it. And so when you develop a habit of clarity, you just know, what feelings do I want to be working towards generating? The third question that I ask myself is, did I stay as focused as I wanted to today? This is a really important question because a lot of times people think focus is about productivity, but focus is actually a property that you get when you are clear. You see, when you're not focused on a task, that's an indication that your brain isn't quite clear about what you're supposed to be doing right now. When we're not focused, it's usually because there's something more pressing that's going on in our lives, or because we're actually bored with whatever we're doing. Now, sometimes we certainly have to do boring tasks because they're necessary to allow us to accomplish our bigger dreams and goals. But we don't have to be focused on doing a boring task. We can be engaged with doing that task because we're focused on that brighter future we're bringing about. The whole reason we're doing it in the first place. And so when you're cultivating clarity, you want to just notice, was I focused? And if not, figure out, how do I get focused? You often do it by being intentional about your day and knowing what feelings you want to be generating and working your way towards those. The fourth question that you ask yourself is, did I make today meaningful? You only get so many days in life. Why would you spend a day where it's just not purposeful, not meaningful? Doesn't mean that you have to be driving a specific thing forward. It doesn't have to be meaningful in terms of just your career or a creative project. It could just be, did I enjoy my day? Did I connect with the beautiful world around me? When I was talking to people I love, was I really present with them? Whatever is meaningful to you, that's what matters. The question is, did you show up and actually connect with those things today so that you could have a meaningful life? This is fundamental to me because I believe that if you have a meaningful and purposeful life, you can withstand almost anything the world throws at you. And in fact, if you struggle with figuring out how to live a meaningful life, please check out my playlist here on how to cultivate an authentic life. When we start to live in authenticity, you start to experience meaning much more often. And there's a process in that playlist that will show you exactly how to cultivate a meaningful life. And the final question that you ask yourself is, did I determine something I can get better at today? You see, when you ask yourself, what can I get better at today? That means that you're being brave enough to look at where you're not showing up the best. It means that you actually are deciding that you're going to take ownership of how you show up to your own life experience. The beauty in this is that it should actually feel good. You see, because when you ask yourself, how do I get better? You're asking yourself, how can I grow? And in truth, you're either growing or you're falling behind. The reason I say that is because growth is a natural process that manifests itself when we're fully engaged with life. Just by being fully engaged with what you're doing, you're going to grow. So to not grow, to fall behind, just means you're not engaged with life. You're stuck at that point in time, and that's totally okay. I know that's okay because when I started this planner, probably about 2 years ago, I started it. I think about a year and a half ago, I went all in and said I'd do this every day, no matter what. I had a conversation with my coach at the time, and I told my coach, I don't have clarity. I wasn't sure how I should be showing up. I was actually playing a lot of dramas over and over and over in my head because I was trying to do the right thing in my life. I was trying to live a meaningful and purposeful life, but I just wasn't intentional enough about what I wanted to do in that exact moment, how I wanted to manifest an enjoyable life experience that also felt meaningful and that would drive me for the rest of my life. So I decided I'd commit to this, and I filled those questions out every single week. And in fact, I asked them every single day for over a year. And I'll tell you what I found is that my scores were very low. The lowest score you can have on this assessment is a 20. The highest is 100. My scores were routinely between 20 and 40 for about 6 months. Occasionally I'd get a little jump up, be a little higher. But overall, my scores were really low. That's okay. When you ask these questions of yourself, it's not a test to get a good grade. It's just checking in with yourself, being honest. This is where I'm at right now. This is how I'm really feeling right now. And when you develop this habit of seeking clarity, you start to notice much more quickly, well, what could I do to feel better? To live a better life? To experience more meaning? To grow in a purposeful way? It's the habit of doing it. We all know this. We all know we need clarity in our lives. Well, it starts by asking these questions routinely and trusting that if you keep asking the questions, the answers are going to start to emerge. Now, I want to give you a tool right now that you can use to magnify clarity in your life. This is one of my favorite tools. It's really powerful because when you do it, you start to understand that clarity is something that you can take control over. And once you do this process, what I'm going to have you do, you're going to be able to immediately get clarity about who you want to be and how you want to be showing up. All right, you ready? All I want you to do, feel free, pause this video in between and actually do this exercise. I think it'll really help you. Go ahead and write on a piece of paper, what are all of the character traits I want to have? You know, courageous, inspiring, intelligent, humorous, curious. Pick all the words that matter to you, that you want to define who you are as a person. Write those words down. And I mean, do a whole list too. Like when you do this list, write every single word that you could possibly think of. I've done this exercise multiple times. It always gets better and better. Write them down. After you've written them down, go ahead and just circle your top 3. For the next month of your life, go ahead, plug in an alarm on your phone or, write this next to your computer or somewhere where you'll see it every day. Write those 3 words and just notice every day that your goal is to become more in line with those words. Your goal is to embody those words, everything you do. And as you set that intention to align with those 3 words, you're going to find that you start showing up in a way that allows you to do so. You're going to cultivate clarity. This seems simple, but it is a really powerful process. I'll tell you, my 3 words as of right now are curious, driven, and humorous. Then I actually have 3 other words. Those are my 3 words for like how I show up in my daily life, because that's the type of person that I really want to be. But I actually have 3 words for my social life when I'm around others. And in those situations, I like to be empathetic, honoring, and committed. I want people to know I'm all in with them and that I'm really there for them, but I also care about their experience, care about their growth, who they are, and the experience they're having in life. So I just encourage you, start cultivating clarity. After you get your 3 words, go ahead, drop them in the comments below. What's a word that you'd like to embody more in your life? I want to see them. I think it's really inspiring when people start to compile these lists and share them with each other, because it's all we're trying to do, right? Is propel each other into a higher level of growth, to live a higher quality of life, and to do some good. If you haven't yet liked this video, please subscribe to this channel. I'm going to serve you every single week, and I want you to be here. I want you to be a part of this. I really appreciate this opportunity. So definitely subscribe. And please share this video. Jump on your Facebook and be like, hey, I'm learning about the high performance habits with Mark Matthews. It's a great time. Come on over and check out a video. I really appreciate it if you did that. But as always, I love you no matter what. I'm thankful that you're here, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.